Welcome, grad students. You know, if you're just starting to dive into machine learning research papers, the sheer volume of math, the complex architecture diagrams, the heavy jargon, it can feel absolutely overwhelming, right? But today, we're going to decode one of the most seminal papers in modern AI. We're breaking down the InstructGPT paper from OpenAI. This is the paper that introduced the exact mechanics of how we aligned language models to actually follow human instructions. So grab your notes because this explainer is going to give you the exact framework you need to understand the entire modern AI landscape. All right, let's just dive right in. Okay, check out this number, 100. When this paper dropped, researchers pitted a newly trained AI model against a massive 175 billion parameter supercomputer giant called GPT-3. And the absolute shocker, the new model consistently beat the giant in human evaluations. And it did this despite having 100 times fewer parameters. I mean, how on earth did a tiny model beat the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Well, to understand that, we've got to look at the core conflict the AI community was wrestling with at the time. Which brings us to Section 1, the AI misalignment problem and why large models fail. So before this paper came along, the AI community had this massive, glaring problem. Just making language models bigger wasn't actually making them better at doing what we humans wanted them to do. See, at the time, large language models were trained with just a single objective: predict the next word on the internet. But let's be real, the internet is unstructured chaos. It's packed with toxic rants, false information, endless Reddit threads, you name it. If you ask the base GPT-3 model, hey, how do I build a website? It might unhelpfully predict the next words to be, and other questions asked on Yahoo Answers. It was essentially a massive autocomplete engine. But our human objective is completely different, isn't it? What we actually want from an AI assistant is for it to be helpful, honest, and harmless. Researchers called this massive gap being misaligned. The AI was brilliant for sure, but it literally had no idea how to talk to us. Moving on to Section 2, the core idea, and how we actually solve this misalignment. So let's introduce the hero's weapon that solved this whole mess, without just blindly throwing more computing power at it. The core idea of this paper is captured in a technique called reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF for short. Basically, it's a technique that uses human preferences as a reward signal to fine-tune language models so they actually follow human intent. Now, if you're a new grad student, terms like reinforcement learning might sound super intimidating, but I promise you the intuition behind this is instantly understandable. Let's look at an everyday analogy. Think of a base language model like a brilliant but completely chaotic chef who has memorized literally every single recipe book in the world. If you ask them to make a nice dinner, they might bake a 10-tier wedding cake because, hey, technically that's a dinner found in a book somewhere, right? So how do you train them to cook specifically for your taste? Well, it's a 3-step process. Step 1, you step into the kitchen and show them. You cook a few perfect meals yourself so the chef learns what a nice dinner actually looks like. Step 2, taste and rank. You ask the chef to cook 5 different dinners, you taste all 5, and you rank them from best to worst. The chef takes meticulous notes on exactly what you prefer. And finally, Step 3, practice and perfect. The chef goes into the kitchen and practices thousands of meals, constantly scoring themselves against those notes from your taste test, optimizing their cooking to maximize their score. And boom, that is RLHF in a nutshell. All right, Section 3, how RLHF works, looking at the technical pipeline. Now that we've got the chef analogy down, let's look at where the magic actually happens. This diagram brilliantly illustrates the solution. It's figure 2 straight from the paper. And honestly, if you're going to memorize just one diagram from this entire explainer, make it this one. It perfectly maps out how human data flows directly into the system to guide the AI across 3 distinct steps: SFT, RM, and PPO. Let's break these down one by one. Okay, step 1 is Supervised Fine-Tuning, or SFT. This is where the humans step into the kitchen. OpenAI hired a team of 40 contractors. These human labelers wrote high-quality demonstrations of the exact desired behavior for various prompts. By feeding these human-written examples into GPT-3, they fine-tune the model to learn the basic format of how to answer a question helpfully. It essentially turns the model from a wild internet autocomplete engine into something that at least understands it's supposed to be having a helpful back-and-forth conversation. But here's the thing, humans can't just sit around writing answers forever, right? It just doesn't scale. So that brings us to the crucial step 2, the reward model, or RM. Here, they take a prompt and have that step 1 model generate several different answers. Then, the humans read those answers and rank them from best to worst. They are tasting the meals. Using this ranking data, the researchers trained a brand new 6 billion parameter AI model just to mathematically predict human preference. They essentially built an automated digital judge that perfectly mimics human taste. Now, as grad students, you are absolutely going to encounter a lot of equations in papers. And here is equation 1 from this paper, the reward model loss function. I know, at first glance, the Greek letters, the logarithms, the sigmoids, it all looks incredibly intimidating. But I want to purposefully defang the scary math for you right now. Seriously, do not let the math scare you. This equation is simply a sorting problem. The model looks at a winning response, designated as YW, and a losing response, YL. The equation simply forces the model to adjust its internal weights so that the score it gives the winning response is always higher than the score it gives the losing response. That's literally it. It's just mathematically ensuring that our AI judge gives the gold medal to the exact answer humans preferred. So, once we have that automated judge set up, we move to step 3. PPO, or Proximal Policy Optimization. Now, the main AI relentlessly practices answering thousands of new prompts. It generates an answer, sends it to the reward model judge we just built, and the judge gives it a scalar reward score. The main AI then uses the PPO algorithm to update its weights to get a higher score the next time around. It optimizes itself entirely without human intervention at this stage, essentially playing a game where the only way to win is to sound exactly like a helpful human assistant. But, of course, there's a catch, and this is a really fascinating concept for your own research, the alignment tax. See, when you train a model to be perfectly polite and helpful, it sometimes loses its edge on basic academic tasks like coding or reading comprehension. It essentially gets so hyper-focused on manners that it forgets basic facts. To fix this, the researchers cleverly balanced the PPO equation by creating what they called PPO-ptx. They mixed some of the original internet pre-training data back into the final reinforcement learning phase. Think of it like driving a car really fast toward a destination, but constantly checking your rearview mirror to make sure you stay on the road and retain your core capabilities. Section 4. The impressive results and how this tiny model beat a giant. This chart right here, figure 1 from the paper, is the absolute mic drop of the entire study. The y-axis shows how often human labelers preferred a model's output. Look at that red line. That's the PPO-ptx InstructGPT model. Even at just 1.3 billion parameters over on the far left, humans overwhelmingly preferred it over the giant blue line, which is the 175 billion parameter GPT-3 base model on the far right. The tiny model wasn't smarter in terms of raw data, it just knew exactly how to format and deliver its knowledge in a way that humans actually found helpful. And it didn't just win subjective preference contests either, it quantifiably improved across the board. The paper proves that InstructGPT generated truthful and informative answers about twice as often as the base model. On closed domain question answering, its hallucination rate, making things up, dropped dramatically from 41% down to just 21%. And toxicity? It generated 25% fewer toxic outputs when prompted respectfully. It was a safer, more reliable, and just vastly more useful system all around. Which leads us to Section 5. Why it matters today for the modern AI ecosystem. You really have to understand that RLHF is the exact engine that turned raw text predictors into the polished AI assistants we all use today. This foundational paper is what bridged the gap between academic, self-supervised language modeling, and wildly popular instruction-following tools like ChatGPT. Without the SFT, the reward model, and the PPO steps outlined in this very paper, large language models would still just be chaotic autocomplete tools trapped in research labs. Which brings us to our final empowering takeaway for today. Alignment scales better than just adding more parameters. As you progress in your grad studies and your own research, I want you to keep this question in mind. Is the future of AI really just about building bigger and bigger models with more parameters, or is it fundamentally about being better aligned with human intent? This paper proved that teaching a small model exactly what we want is far more powerful than just letting a giant model guess. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this gives you a powerful new lens to read your next research paper. See you next time.